Stan was the oldest. He's the oldest child in the family. Great spirit, great sense of humor. Really had a real strength in his character. One of the great things that Stan and I shared was I coached him in hockey right from the time he was 4. So we spent, many days and weekends and nights on the ice. There was something about who he was as a person where people gravitated to him and they followed him, they believed in him, but there was that really special side to him, that gentleness. Stan and I actually spent that entire day together. It was a belated Father's Day. And I picked him up in the morning and we went and did all kinds of different things, father-son things, driving around the city. We actually looked at buying him a car. We got out of the car and I dropped him off in his mom's driveway and we hugged it out, and obviously at that point didn't realize that that would be the last time. So what happened that night is a bunch of friends got together. It was the end of school and they decided that they wanted to go to a celebration. There was 14 young people in 4 different cars, and on the way back they stopped in at McDonald's right on the highway. The driver, who ultimately was held accountable in this, he was smoking cannabis behind the wheel. When they went into the restaurant, they realized that the driver had been smoking cannabis and that he was impaired. People that were in that car when they got to the restaurant decided not to get back in that car. As Stan came out of that restaurant, he saw that his friend, the driver, was sitting by himself, so he made a choice to get in the car. So they left the restaurant, and about 6 minutes later, the cars were actually playing a game of leapfrog on the highway. They're kind of passing each other, etc. The first car hit a truck that was actually pulling a full-size race car, hit it head on, and from that initial collision, Stan was the first person to be killed. From that initial collision, a piece of the suspension of the truck actually went straight across the highway, went through the windshield of one of the other cars, struck the driver in the head. And then the truck started to come apart and turn on its side, and it split between 2 cars and wound up hitting a 3rd car. So there was 5 young men that were killed, and this whole thing was over in a matter of seconds. It's a hole, it's an emptiness that never leaves you. Everything around you is now based on that date. So when we actually found out that it was an impaired driving by cannabis related crash, it was almost 3 weeks after. There was no indications in the beginning. The police were very quiet about all of this. And obviously the impact of the death of a child, the impact of the death of 5 children it's hard to even imagine as I sit here right now. But this put a completely different veil on it. It really did. At one point it's a crash, it's tragic, there's terrible loss of life. But now you add in a layer that somebody's accountable, and it changes it. It really does. It changes it completely. If you ask anybody today, anybody on the street, is it okay to drink and drive? They'll go, no. If you ask the same question on the street about is it okay to smoke cannabis and drive, or consume cannabis in any other method and drive, you're gonna get a different answer. If you think cannabis and driving doesn't kill, think again. Our families have been impacted forever.